Hi, I'm Amy, and I'm not a roofing expert. So today I'm sitting down with one. This is George, CEO of Pelican Roofing. So George, every year I hear about homeowners getting scammed by contractors. Why does this keep happening?
Well, our industry is kind of a magnet for scammers. There's a very low barrier to entry, first of all, into the roofing industry. All you need is a truck and a ladder and maybe a shirt with a logo on it, and now you're a roofer. Our industry has a high price per transaction also. So, a scammer can come in, scam one customer and get a $5,000 or $7,000 down payment with one scam and less risk than, say, some other industry with a lower transaction price.
Okay. So what are the scams? How are homeowners getting taken advantage of?
It's pretty simple, actually. Contractor promises to do the roof, provides a quote, maybe a contract. As a part of that contract, or maybe even just verbally say that they need a half down deposit. So they're going to get half of the roof job up front, and then they disappear. Typically they disappear. Sometimes they'll answer the phone a few more times, tell them they're just waiting, whatever. But they just take the money and they run.
So how do I avoid this? How do I avoid getting scammed and losing money?
Well, there's a few things. The first one, it's not so much proactive, but I really think we should trust our gut more. I'm just a big believer in that. I've seen the science on it. It's not just some woo-woo stuff. Like, our intuition is powerful. And so when something just seems off, and it seems like it might go sideways, or we get that weird feeling, I think we need to pay attention to that a lot more, because it's a good indicator of something maybe not being right. And you can go do some research and dig instead of just kind of ignoring that sign. But to be more proactive on the front end, say that you want to call a roofer out, or you want to, or someone, maybe a roofer knocks your door and says, hey, there's been storm damage in the area, we do this. You want to qualify them, right? So just a little bit of research can get you out of trouble. So I'll give you 3 things that I would recommend. The first one is going to be, check their Google reviews. Google is the #1 platform for reviews in our market. And so what you want to look for on Google is 2 things. One is a large number of reviews, a quantity, and then also the quality, the rating. And so my recommendation on quality would be 4.5 and above. Anything below that is suspect. If I'm a customer and I'm looking at that, it's suspect, at least in our industry. Some industries are a little bit different. There may be a great restaurant with a 4.4 or something, I don't know. But you want to look for 4.5 or greater, and then you want to see a lot of reviews. If you see 3 reviews, that's suspect. We've got 200 something Google reviews. There's other roofers in our market that do quality work that have a lot less than that, but there's still a high quantity. And you can look at that range and make a determination. The second thing is the BBB. The BBB does a good job of keeping contractors honest. Any homeowner or customer can go and complain there. The BBB will notify the contractor. They have a chance to resolve that issue if maybe they were unaware of it or didn't handle it properly in the past. And so that rating will decline if they don't handle these well. And so you want to look for ideally an A+ rating. Maybe an A rating would be all right too. So those 2 things. And then the third thing is you want to make sure they have proper licensing and insurance. Now, it's not as simple as just asking for a copy of that and then them giving you a piece of paper. You want to make sure, #1, that the dates are valid. I've seen contractors before provide old certificates that were from last year. I've seen contractors provide certificates that maybe they have liability insurance, but they don't have workers' compensation insurance. That liability will transfer to the homeowner if that contractor doesn't have workers' compensation insurance if something happens on that job. So you want to verify they have the correct type, liability and workers' comp. The limits are somewhat important, but I don't want to get into the weeds on that. You can always forward this to your agent, your insurance agent, and ask them to take a look and make sure that it looks good. But you want to make sure that they have that coverage. That weeds out some of the bad contractors alone. So those three things can potentially save a homeowner a lot of headache and money. And one other thing comes to mind, longevity in a market is important too. So there's, in our industry, like there's a couple hundred contractors in each of the markets we serve, at least. Some of the bigger markets have a lot more. Probably half of those have popped up in the last year. Do you really want to take the risk as the homeowner on a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 roof to go with the guy who just started his company? Maybe you do. Maybe you know that person, you've known them for a long time and you can trust them, and maybe that's okay. But there's a lot of inherent risk there because they haven't gone through the troubles. They haven't proven themselves in the market yet. And so you want to look for someone that's been around for a while and has a good track record, which should show up on those Google reviews as well.
All right, that's some great information. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. If you're a homeowner and you have more roofing questions, check out our YouTube channel.